we're in that acceleration phase of a bubble. You don't know where it goes to, and you don't know if it's a month away or 18 months away.
Bitcoin hitting 100K before the end of the year.
I'm going to say yes. There are two kinds of employees, the kind that understand Claude and those that don't.
In this video, we're going to get into Ray Dalio's warning about the US debt crisis and whether AI can actually grow us out of it. What's really going on with Bitcoin decoupling from the NASDAQ, Trump's China summit and what it means for markets, and a pretty alarming conversation about AGI. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now. I break down conversations like this every week, and you don't want to miss it. Let's get right into it.
But I want to talk about public debt, and I want you to respond to this, Michael. 31.27 trillion. That's slightly above our GDP now. And again, of course, our deficit is about 38 trillion. We're talking about the debt that's held in the hands of the non-governmental balance sheet. This is the highest it's been on a percentage of GDP. It's over 100%. Highest it's been since World War II. And I'm worried about two things that I'd like you to respond to. Number one, the spending looks like it's not going to be curbed anytime soon. And then number two, if God forbid we were to go into a recession, Michael, our finances are such that we don't have tremendous amounts of flexibility from a Keynesian perspective. What are your thoughts on those things? Reconcile everything for us.
Yeah, like it's so frustrating because this administration came in with an eye on the debt and deficit, right? Besson talked about it, how we're going to bend the debt to GDP curve. We had Doge, and they've just whiffed. Um, we're asking for $1.5 trillion more for the military. It's just hard to put how big a number that is in perspective. Um, and at the same time, I had a dear friend of mine who has two sons, 82nd Airborne, over in the theater right now. And he said they sent the one that didn't even have a pistol, and he's got a rifle without a scope. Like we got shit. We're not really equipping our guys with world-class equipment, yet we're spending $1.5 trillion. The amount of waste, fraud, and abuse, to use the term that Doge had used, that is in the military is just breathtaking. The amount of money that, Palantir and Anduril are making and Raytheon is breathtaking at a time when we're not really doing a great job of giving our troops world-class protection and or even combat equipment. And so as a country, not just in the military, but across, we need to look at government as a service, because that's what government is to serve the people, as a business, and realize, how do we do this better? In New York City, we're spending $44,000 per kid in school. And I'm not saying that's the right amount or the wrong amount. It costs more in a private school, but it's a lot higher than it was per child 8 years ago because we've got declining enrollment and the results are getting worse. So we're spending more with worse results. The same thing in the military. We've got to figure out how to bring business into government to bring some efficiencies, or we're going to bankrupt ourselves. S&P volatility is trading, I think, like a 16 handle. It's to buy some protection. It just is. Like, we're in that acceleration phase of a bubble. You don't know where it goes to. And you don't know if it's a month away or 18 months away. And no one does. Like, the total stock market cap as a percent of GDP is a record high. Those are usually big warning signs. Retail sentiment's at like 98, 99%. Big warning signs. So go take some of your money that you've made, because if you're in the market, you've made a ton, and buy some puts. 1 month puts, 2 month puts, you can pick your date, but they're cheap as heck. And we're just in a really dangerous part of the market. Yeah, listen, if you're a young person, you've got to figure out how to use Claude Code, because you weren't a programmer, now you are. And that's just answer A, B, and C. Because every company is looking for efficiencies, and those efficiencies are going to come from people who understand. And someone said this today, and I said this on my to all call. This wasn't my original thought, but I stole it. There are two kinds of employees: the kind that understand Claude and those that don't. The kind that play with it on the weekends and those that don't. And you got to be one of those in the former group.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
You've
with
got
you.
to be
I use it
somebody.
every day. I mean, I'm taking pictures of things. I'm using it every day. But I think
And
with
it's
your
taking it to the next level. It's saying, make me a X that does Y, because it can. And it's not gonna be perfect your first few times. And so I think that's the one advice to young people.
Ray Dalio is saying to people, this is a historic opportunity. He's banging the drum, wake up. You have AI driven productivity that could generate enough income growth to actually ease the debt burden. And there's a plausible scenario where we could grow our way out of our debt debacle. It would require, though, reducing deficits to 3% of GDP through a mix of tax increases and spending cuts. Is that something that the Congress would actually take up, you think? Or we're
I
just
mean,
going to
it's not
be
we had our in some
on
ways,
the
we had our best shot, right? We had the Republicans who said they were gonna do it, and you had a really, the dream team of Besson and now Warsh, that was the 3-3-3. And Donald Trump likes to spend money, like, period, end of story. And while he said we were not gonna get in wars, got us in wars, and wars cost a lot of money. We have literally depleted our entire, not our entire, but a huge chunk of our arsenal. Well, guess what? I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, or a independent, you're not voting not to replace that. Yes. And so we've already baked in a lot more spending coming just to replace all these missiles that we're shooting down missiles with. And so I'm skeptical that the government can tighten it. I mean, you look at Mondami, who's doing the victory lap for having, quote, balanced the budget, right? He didn't balance the budget by really cutting any spending. It was, he got an extra 3 billion from Hochul. He shifted some monies around. He did what he said he was going to do. He wanted to increase spending because he had a lot of social programs he cared about. And so those programs are getting funded. Some money's, he literally canceled the fireworks on the East River because there were going to be too many. When you do the fireworks on the East River across from the UN, uh, that you have to close the whole FDR. Tons of people can watch, but the amount of overtime you got to pay the cops is real money. So he's looking to save money here and there, but broadly hasn't changed the budget deficit at all. He's just postponed it, right? We're still running a structural deficit in New York City. Politicians don't like to cut spending, Republicans or Democrats.
I want to switch to Anthropic for a second and AI. Jack Clark, the co-founder of Anthropic, he gave a 60% probability that by the end of 2028, an AI system will be able to autonomously train a better version of itself with no human required. What are your thoughts on that? Should we be worried about that?
Yes,
If it's genuinely building itself,
we should be very worried. Listen, it's going to happen. They call it recursive AGI, a recursive or AGI, or like, yes, it might happen before that. But 2 years, we can snap our fingers and it's 2 years. And that means it becomes super intelligent really fast, right? Because once it can create its own models and learn from them and learn from them, it's exponential. Exponential is about use of power that it wants, right? Power equals intelligence. Exponential at how fast it can get intelligent. And so the moment it's more intelligent than us, it's a different world, right? It just is. Uh, doesn't mean it's going to kill us all, but we don't know it's scheming at that point, right? We don't know what it's trying to do. And I think you need far smarter people than me around a table thinking about that, what really means and how to harness it for good, how to put guardrails so it doesn't become bad. Uh, we're rattling down a train down the train tracks at 90 miles an hour, accelerating to 130, and there's a curve coming up, and you're like, is this train going to fall off the tracks? Or are we going to make that curve? And it feels like it'll fall off the tracks. And no one knows how to slow it down, including the guys at Anthropic. Because the biggest reason is China.
Bitcoin hitting 100K before the end of the year. That would be 2026.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, so bullish. Kevin Warsh cutting rates before year end.
I was 100% certain, now I'm 50% certain, so I'm gonna say neutral.
Okay, so I'm going to say bullish on that. I think he's going to live up to his obligation to Trump one way or another. Gold outperforms Bitcoin in the next 12 months. Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
All right, I'm going to say bearish on that. U.S. avoids recession in 2026.
Bullish.
It looks that way to me too. I mean, that's this capital spending that you're talking about. S&P 500 ends 2026 above 8,000.
Bullish.
Okay, feels that way too. And a lot of these wirehouses are adjusting their
But I
S&P.
still think you should buy puts.
Okay. Bitcoin becomes a formal U.S. reserve asset before 2028.
Bearish.
So what's the takeaway from this? The market is at all-time highs, but the smartest money is quietly buying protection. The debt is at post-World War II levels, and politicians on both sides refuse to cut spending. Ray Dalio says AI is our one shot to grow out of it, but only if Washington gets its act together. And oh yeah, by 2028, AI might be training itself. We are living in the most chaotic and opportunity-rich moment in modern history. If you got value from this breakdown, subscribe. I do this every week. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Bubble or bull run? Let me know.